Hi y'all, welcome back to the channel, The Scent Diaries. This is Heather. So, last video that I filmed, there was an issue with the audio just at the end. I'm not really sure if that was because of my internet or like what was going on, but there was this weird echoey thing that it was doing. Um, I didn't want to have to redo the entire video, so just let it go because I'm still, learning how to do all this. I think it might have had something to do with my internet because I did get a message saying that they were doing work in my area with the network. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it didn't. I really don't know. But also, I did want to let y'all know that I am trying, and I'm going to dedicate this weekend to figuring out how to do the thumbnails because even when I finish the video, it gives me like an option for thumbnails, but I don't know how to actually do it. When I get to it, it doesn't, like, there's no steps. It does not show me what to actually do to get the thumbnail in the video or on the screen. And this setup, the um, tool or whatever application, I don't know what you call this, the program that I'm using, it's OBS, and it's very confusing. I'm not good at this sort of thing, so I'm just gonna have to wait until my husband is able to help me out a little bit with that. Oh, and you can see my I'm propagating the rose finally. I It wilted, so I was able to cut the bud off of it, put the stem in some fresh soil, and I have the bag on there so it doesn't leak all over my vanity. But yeah, came so excited, so excited for when the weather finally turns and I can move my plants outside and put them in the mulch bed. I do have a lily. Oh, what's wrong with me? Huh. Oh, maybe I'm just getting a pimple. Happens. But I did have a lily from last year that I moved outside, and it comes back every single year now, and it makes me so happy because it's the most beautiful flower I've ever seen. I wish I could get my entire flower bed to be all just lilies. And they smell really good too. So if I can get that one to propagate, theirs are a little harder. I'm scared that if I cut it, I might kill it and it just won't come back. Or I might just plant new ones. Who knows? But I do plan on doing a full flower bed this year, and I may be able to film that. Um, I don't know if I would have to do that on a separate camera or what, so we'll just see how all that goes. We're taking this a day at a time, okay? But what I was saying in the last video when the audio started messing up is that if you guys want, I could do other things, sprinkle in some other content other than just, fragrances. Um, Maybe talking about, motherhood and having a thus far nonverbal child, and the struggles that come with that, or talk about some of my childhood. I mean, I've had crazy things happen to me. Like, I grew up in a straight up haunted house, like demonically haunted house, to the point where my entire extended family was having to come over to like bless the house because it was freaking my parents out so bad. Um, and I've had other things happen to me. For instance, I know this sounds insane, and most people are not going to believe me, and that's oops, dropped my phone. And that is totally fine if you don't believe me. I mean, I probably wouldn't believe me if I wasn't the one that happened to. But when I was 20 years old, I went to a concert with a friend, and within like the first song, like it wasn't like later in the night after we had been like partying and stuff. Within like the very first song, I died or passed out, I still don't know, and had a full-on out-of-body experience of going to hell and meeting Jesus, and I mean it was a whole thing. So I've been thinking about making a video on that at some point. It gets really in depth. It's very graphic, to say the least. So I don't know, if that's something y'all would want to hear or not. But it's just an interesting story. I do like hearing other people's stories about their like spiritual experiences, especially when it's like not sought after. It's not like they were meditating or like trying to, astral project or anything like that. Like they were just doing their everyday thing, and then all of a sudden something crazy spiritual happened to them. So yeah, actually grew up in two haunted houses. Really, I think it was the same haunting. I'm pretty sure whatever this thing was followed my dad. Pretty sure it was attached to him because my cousins actually live in my original house, the house where we first started experiencing this. They live there now and they haven't had problems like what we had when I lived there. And my dad's new house, things have happened there. Not quite as intense or severe or scary as the first house. The first house was terrifying. The second house was more just like, you know, we would see shadows out of the corner of our eyes, hear people running up and down the hallway that weren't there, that sort of thing. But I can go into a whole video about that in depth. I think it's pretty fascinating, you know, and just for my own record, I want to be able to tell my grandkids about that at some point, and it'd be good to have like a refresher to refer back to. But aside from all that, let's get into it. Once again, please excuse my dirty nails when you do indoor gardening or any kind of gardening, especially. You're gonna have dirty nails. It's just part of it. I get self conscious about it. I'm sure you can tell because I keep disclaiming it. Like I don't like people seeing my nails and be like, "Ooh, you have dirty nails." But at the same time, if you're digging in dirt all the time, like it's just unavoidable. So today, what we are going to be talking about is pear creme brulee. Pear creme brulee. Doo-doo-doo. And actually, this one funny story that sprayer is actually broken on it because when let's see when we were at a restaurant, my youngest son was like acting up and you know just being a handful and not wanting to sit down and all that, and he loves my body mist, so I had this in my purse and I was gonna let him play with it, and I gave it to him and he immediately drops it. And I mean, I've dropped my body mist all the time, but somehow he dropped this one just right, and the cap went flying off, and the top broke. But luckily, it's not unfixable because it still sprays. Like, it does leak a little bit as you spray it, but I mean, like, I'm trying to just really kind of get through it because I'm already halfway done. But I do love this scent. Love it, love it. I say that all the time. Love it, love it. Let's see here. I keep seeing something out of the corner. Probably got dirt all over my face. Excuse me. Let's see here. It is a baked pear, caramelized sugar, and whipped cream. And it says, whisk yourself away to a Parisian cafe and enjoy the delicate treats and bubbly drinks. This one, I don't think, like, other people are as receptive to this one because when we were at that restaurant, um, I distinctly remember, like, I think my husband was like, "Oh, I can, it spilled or something. We can smell it." Or I don't know what was it. I was like, "I hope he didn't spill any, or I hope it's not leaking," you know. And my father-in-law was like, "Yeah, I can smell it," and he made a face that was like, "I can smell it, but I don't like the smell." And I can get that. I totally can get why like some people would not like this scent because the pear is very like heavy and thick, and it's not a fresh pear at all. It's more like a baked thick pear. Like I don't know how to really explain it. I could see how to some people it would almost be like a little stinky, and I think some people have had that reaction to this. They didn't like the pear in it, but I love it. Like I can, on one hand, I can see why somebody wouldn't like it, and I can see that they would think that this is like smells weird. But for some reason, I love it, and I can't stop smelling it. It's such a good scent, and when it dries down, it's just so sweet. I mean, it's like you can smell like the pie crust or whatever. I mean, I don't even think that's one of the notes, but it just smells so edible and delicious, and like, and it's pretty strong. You could smell it for a good while after spraying, and it's not one of those you know one and dones or got to keep spraying it. Like it's strong. I just don't think that it's for everybody, and you know some people might think it's a little off-putting because there is that kind of strange, thick, syrupy pear note to it. That's not a fresh, dainty, girly pear. It's definitely different. I've never smelled anything else that smells quite like this. But isn't the packaging adorable? I mean, it doesn't do it justice. Like my camera is not that great. It's like a lot more green in person, but I love the packaging of this entire collection. I have a couple other pieces of this collection. I think I'm only missing. Um, I don't have the bubbly rosé one, and I think there was one more, wasn't there? I can't remember. I have this one. I have the coconut cream pie, and I have the whipberry meringue. I think there was at least one more, if not two more. Maybe it was just one. Oh no, it was the bubbly rosé and the peach prosecco macron. I don't have that one, but I would love to get that one. But I would have to get it through a reseller because it's obviously not available at the moment. And I'm not the biggest peach lover. I There's very few scents with peach in it that I have been able to, handle or that I've liked. And I just really don't like to purchase from a reseller and pay more than full price sometimes for something I'm not sure, like the scent notes aren't, a guarantee that I'm gonna love them. So I probably won't ever bother getting that one unless Bath and Body Works re-releases it. If they do, then I'll definitely give it a shot. But yeah, this is a really good gourmand. If you like gourmands and you have like so many in your collection that are vanillas and just kind of basic, and you want something sweet that's different, that's got an extra note that's not common, this is definitely a unique gourmand to my collection. There's nothing else I have that smells quite like this. And if you can get your hands on it to smell it first, that would be great. Or if you like pear, then go for it. But just be wary that not everybody is gonna love this scent on you, and you may not like it. And that note is definitely like almost an acquired taste, or it's definitely unique enough that it's not gonna be a uber crowd pleaser. There may be some people who don't like it. I mean, he didn't say he didn't like it, but he kind of made a face like, oh, I can smell it, and like, I don't like it. And normally, like, he compliments me on my scents, or he's like, what smells so good, when I walk in the room. So I kind of gathered that this was just not one that he liked, which is whatever. It's not like I care to, impress my father-in-law, like whatever. But I do like to gather other people's, reactions to stuff so that I can gauge, you know, what it's doing for the people around me. Is it pleasing the people around me, or are they like, oh, it's stinky? And like, I can kind of get it. Like there is kind of like it's almost like a stinky, but it's like a good. I don't even know. I'm making it sound horrible. I know. It's like a weird smell, but it's for some reason I love it, and I literally can't stop smelling it. Ah, I just love it. I don't even know. I'm just weird, I guess. I do know a lot of people who love this scent. This is one of those ones that it's like you either love it or you hate it. And the people who love it are like ride or die for it, like I am. Like, I want backups of this. And I feel like I'm so sad and it's already halfway gone. That shows you how much I've loved it. Like, it did not leak. Like, it wasn't like gushing out or anything. I mean, it leaks a little when I spray it. But this is just from usage. This is one of my most used up scents because it's just amazing, and this is the perfect time of year for it. It's so spring like, but still sweet and thick, and so when you're having those days that are like this, where it's getting a little warmer in the daytime and it's still cold at night. This is like the perfect kind of scent for that. It's like, I don't know. I'm loving it. You do you. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I think it's delicious. So, yep, that is Pear Creme Brulee. All right, guys. Well, I hope that y'all have a blessed day, and I will be back with another review whenever I get the time. Bye bye.